Hello, friends. Nicholas here with DIVOted Talks, DIVOted Talks, depending on how you want to say it. Where we take ancient wisdom and practices, take it through modern lenses and experiences to help you live better, feel better, and maybe be able to see and understand the world and yourself clearly so that you can be a part of your healing rather than your suffering. Actually, that might be the best one yet. What do you think? I don't know. Let me know. And Riverside just changed, and now it does a 3 count. It used to do a 5, and it was like bam, and I was like, oh, I gotta go. I'm on, you're on. I don't know why I like the 5 seconds so much more. I think it's what I was used to, but oy vey. So it is Jewish New Year as of last night. Lashana Tova. I know that you won't receive this until later, but my greetings of a Happy New Year to all those who celebrate and are of that faith. In the last episode, I was talking about faith and how that sometimes can morally stack people against others or others' ways of life or others' ways of living. Mostly because they don't understand them, but also because they've bought into some story that if they do A, B, C, D, they will be the chosen ones or the chosen, or they're somehow different and elevated above. In reality, we're all humans. We're all just humans. And we're all working through things. You know, one of my favorite movies is Jupiter Ascending. And at one point in the movie, towards the end, one of the antagonists says, "My mother taught me that some lives matter more than others." And in some ways, I do believe that is true. But I think that is the way we have chosen to run our societies up until now, right? When there is the few that receive all the wealth, they tend to matter more because of how things are structured. And that doesn't mean it has to be done that way, right? And I think there's been lots of historians and philosophers who have tried to think of different ways that society can be done so that all can have a fair shot and all can have a fair chance, right? That's what we say in America. Like, as long as you pull yourself up by your bootstraps and you work hard, you can achieve the American dream. And in some ways that is true, right? But who's going to be the one telling that person how to do that? Like, if we don't have people in our lives that can show us the way, or role models that can help us with that, how is it really fair that some people who do have those people can utilize that resource and others don't? Is it luck? Is it divinity manifesting and showing people that they are worth more than another? Is it divine bloodlines and you were selected to be of the royalty? And maybe some of them believe that. I don't know. And I don't really care either, right? I'm just trying to get by. Now, I do hate some of the suffering that I've experienced in my life, but I wouldn't trade it for the knowledge and the understanding that I have about life and about the way the world is and the way I want to be in the world. Now, some days it's hard for me to see the forest for the trees, and I suffer because I don't get it and I can't understand it. But that's like me being a painting, trying to understand the person who painted me outside of the fact that I was created by the painter in the first place. Now, that sounds kind of heady too. Yeah, take what you like and leave the rest. I don't care. But that being said, the created cannot know what it is to be the creator until they themselves become creators, right? Nobody knows what it's like to be a parent until they are a parent and have created a child or adopted a child and taken that role on within their life. Just like I couldn't understand being a business owner until I became one. And boy, was there a lot more to it than I even anticipated. But I also didn't research everything. I just thought I could do A, B, C, D, and I would follow this little path and everything would be good. And there's so much more to it. But I didn't choose to talk to people and ask them what to expect or what to do. I didn't plan. But that's not in my nature. I'm a Sagittarius. So I just shoot that arrow and I'm like, all right, we're going for it. We're going to find it. Where's it? Where there, land? Where to go? Shoot for the stars or shoot for the moon. And then if you miss, you land in the stars. Whatever. Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Insert any fancy story that sounds good. Now, with that in mind, you know, our life is ours to own. And some people own victimhood. Some people own the fact that they are superior than others. Whether they actually are or not is debatable. I look at the current state of our country and I frequently wonder, why them? Why were they chosen? What did they do to deserve that? I don't know. Were they chosen by God? You know, and what if it was actually, they were chosen by God, but they picked the filthiest, stupidest, ugliest, worthless, downright disgusting caricature of what an American is, and use that to help break us, to help us see where we were at and where we were headed as a country, so that we can burn down what had been and start anew with a better perspective and trying to facilitate a better life for all. I didn't ask to be born here. I have family members from generations back that still live in Belgium. I'm a Belgian, which is really cool. I would love to go back to Belgium and just be with them. But I wouldn't have had the life that I had my ancestors not immigrated here. And so I couldn't trade that because I don't know that I would exist otherwise. Like, to be me, my mom and dad had to come from the generations of people that they did and then find each other to then facilitate my conception and birth. And so that doesn't mean my consciousness wouldn't have gone somewhere else or been expressed somewhere else, but I wouldn't know my life or the life as I have had it as I do now. And so it's perplexing because I like my life, but man, sometimes the lessons that we have to learn make it feel hard, like hard enough that it's like, what's the point? Like, there were days that I hated that I wasn't working that much and I wasn't doing that much, but man, I had time to read books. I could watch, series and take classes that I liked. I had time to do a bunch of stuff, and I don't right now. I traded that for the life of a business owner. But I also felt unfulfilled there. And now I feel like I'm so busy, I feel unfulfilled in other ways. So part of life is finding the harmony of divergent and convergent forces. I don't know why I stuttered there. Divergent and convergent forces that are constantly swirling around us. Some of them start in the mind, some of them start in the body, some of them start exogenously to us without, out in the world, without rather than within, is what I was trying to say. And, we navigate. It's a dance, right? Have you ever seen those? It's kind of like the Matrix, but I don't know. I feel like when I've seen it, it's like people doing Tai Chi and they're like dancing with the people and nobody actually ever gets a strike because they're moving the force with them and they're like working around them. I think maybe I've seen it in Doctor Strange and other movies as well. But being able to take force and redirect it in a way that either causes a cessation of it, which would be kind of like yoga. Yoga is chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the cessation of fluctuations of the mind. Or redirect it so that you're not impacted by the force and you're able to get away without harm on the front end. And so what does this all mean in the grand scope of yoga, Ayurveda, and just modern life? Be easy about it. You are here for a reason. And if you weren't meant to be here for a reason, you wouldn't exist. There's a greater orchestration out there that has called you to this moment and the moments that will be in succession to this. So rest easy knowing that there is a point and that the only failure is giving up. I know that sometimes it can feel pointless. That doesn't mean I'm going to kill myself personally, but I can understand where people might feel that way. If life is constantly pushing back on you and you can't move past it and you don't have enough time to see the solution rather than living in the problem. Yeah. Again, I wouldn't commit suicide, but I could understand how people could get to that point. And I've got mad respect for people who have to make tough choices in life. It's not easy. Obviously, it's a tough choice. But, some people will go through life and never know the struggle of decisions that some people carry and have to make and still wear a smile. And as of late, I've seen a lot of people putting on their fake faces at events that look like rallies and big stage productions, but are actually a funeral and memorial. I don't know. If that sounds shady, you can tell how I feel about it. Because there's a lot of people who say the key words that have never really lived anything from those teachings a day in their life. They just know what to say so that they're accepted. It's dog whistles and code words and ways of navigating with a mask. They're easy to see, but only when you take your mask off. And so that's part of the trouble with this journey is maybe you don't know that you have a mask on right now. So my wish for you is a deep meditation that calms, offers you peace, and maybe allows you to see any masks that you are wearing so that you can start to dance more adeptly with life, because the mask isn't blocking your view or cutting off your air or preventing others from seeing you clearly for who you really are. I wish you community, intimacy, and love in all the ways that support you and help you be a better and more fruitful you. Be well, be free.